obviously didn't really think this whole Gen Z stare thing was a big deal. But apparently it was, because this happened. Yesterday, it made it on Fox News.
There's no way. There's no way that this made it on the news, buddy.
I don't think this love for me. I don't think you the one for me.
What TF is the Gen Z stare? Let's find out.
Okay, so within the last few days of my For You page, all I've been hearing about is this Gen Z stare. Dog, what the hell is the Gen Z stare? I'm in Gen Z myself.
I saw 2 videos on it. I saw only 2 videos on it. So I really don't know if he's telling the truth or if he's just kind of trying to hype it up to see how people feel about it.
And I still don't understand this shit at all. Like, I'm not a 42-year-old kid like some of you say. Like, I'm actually in Gen Z. But according to the AI overview, which obviously isn't the best source ever, I know, but the Gen Z stare refers to a perceived blank, emotionless gaze that some observe in younger individuals. But
Yeah, it makes sense. Now that that's the definition of it, it makes sense, bro. We're miserable. We're miserable. We don't have a bright future ahead of us. Not to be a doomer or anything like that, but boomers kind of ruined it for us. We are all struggling. So yes, all Gen Z is sitting there wondering every day, what's the point? What is the point of this bullshit? The answer? There is no point. There is no point. Sorry to tell you.
particularly within the Gen Z demographic. So yeah, according to the AI overview, it's like this deer in the headlights type of thing. For example, that one King Von anti-piracy screen stare that went viral. But something a little bit less menacing than that. Something a little more oblivious looking. And that happens to me. I get deep in thought. I zone out. I'm just on goddamn autopilot. And whenever this happened to me, I was always at my job, and it would be during a 6-hour shift. And I would just be so tired, I just disassociate for a second. And then the other 50% of the internet thinks it's more like this. And this has turned into a whole war.
I feel like the Gen Z stare is this. Like when you go to the grocery or when you're working, right? If you work in customer service and somebody starts coming up to you and saying, I didn't want these pickles on my burger. Like, you didn't have to speak to me like that, Karen. You didn't need to speak to me like that. But how about you choke on a banana and fall to a dark place? Yeah, that's how we feel. Most of Gen Z is done with life and we just started. We have a long way to go.
And this has turned into a whole war. Okay, war is a crazy word for it, but debate on TikTok. And that's why it went so viral, because it became a whole debate on what this thing actually meant. But here's the first example of what people think the Gen Z stare is.
Hi, welcome in. How is everyone tonight? Can I get you started with something to drink?
And it's just blank. They think...
Well, you... This is actually a very good representation for it. But you also have to consider that COVID, I know, kind of a trigger word. COVID kind of destroyed everybody's ability to socialize. We were locked inside homes for such a significant period of time that people just don't know how to socialize anymore. And I am a victim of this. I kind of don't socialize with people on a regular basis. One, because I make content and I feel like a lot of people find this shit cringy. And two, I just don't particularly know how to interact with people if I don't know that what their interests are. You know what I mean? Like, it's more of a me thing, but I feel like everybody has that problem in their head somewhere. I could be wrong.
we are that socially inept to the point where we don't even respond at all. Yeah, man, we're just gonna say nothing. It's totally realistic. Like, you seriously act like we can't even order a burger. Dog, what are we talking about? Like, yes,
That's my wife. My wife can't order for herself. I almost order for her every single time.
Gen Z sucks at socializing. I'm willing to admit that. But I'm not willing to admit I can't order a burger at a restaurant. Like, this is literally an exaggeration. There is no way that is the exact Gen Z stare that everyone is talking about. Because when the f is this happen? Like, I'm pretty sure we can all respond when it comes time to order a burger. Because if there's dialogue inputs that are required, we're all responding. They act like it's our first day on Earth. Like, seriously, bro.
Shout out Joe Bart. Love Joe Bart. That's the GOAT.
Seriously, bro, what? All right, this has to be a troll. There is no way. Never mind. It says, stop deliberately misinterpreting this. It might not be all of them, but it's majority of Gen Z customers. Majority of Gen Z, last time I checked, is in their 20s. But yeah, we got brain dead comments on this video saying, Gen Z is about to be in the comments saying, I just don't want to talk to you. Meanwhile, they're at a restaurant where talking to people is required. Is this a joke, bro? Like, I swear, this whole video's gotta be rage bait. Because there's no way you think Gen Z, all of Gen Z, or no, sorry, majority of Gen Z customers are like this. Like, people are really trying to make it worse than it actually seems.
No, I don't agree with what he's saying. I think that people are right. Majority of Gen Z customers don't want to talk to people. Majority of Gen Z workers don't want to talk to people because we just get shit on so much that it's just like, okay, well, when you're a worker, you get shit on. When you're a customer, okay, if you're not talking to your waitress or your bank teller or something like that, you probably need to seek some help. You need to talk to those people to get what you want. I think that it's still kind of, it's rocky. It's rocky.
Like, no one's trying to be nonchalant and aura farm at a goddamn restaurant. Like, we just want to get our food and go. With the average Gen Z interaction, this shit is not happening, bro. I'm sorry. It's just not. And not everyone in Gen Z is a terminally online gremlin that doesn't even step outside at all. Well, obviously, Gen Z did not resonate with this at all. So they didn't think this was the actual stare, and instead thought it was the second example. That's not how you bag, honey. What are you doing? I don't know, my job? My God, like I just, it's insane. But yeah,
that was the example that I was giving, is that you do run into people who will just rage bait you as a worker, and you can't say anything back because this is how you're bringing money home. It's already hard enough to find a job. You don't need to treat us like shit.
But yeah, this is when most people would use the Gen Z stare and just stare at them blankly. Because in this scenario, I would be so done. I just would want to stop existing. So I would just go deer in the headlights mode for the rest of the interaction. I don't even care. Let's make it awkward because you want to pull up all aggressive and shit. So this is definition 2 that people have coined the "are we dead ass stare," or you say like, are you being for real right now in your head? And I mean, customer service workers just go through hell the entire day at some places. It's either you're super busy for the entire day, or it's just straight tumbleweeds. And you know, on those busy days, you might happen to deal with some idiots, or you might be having a rough day already and something stupid just sets you off, but you don't want to get fired at the same time. Because that's what really the second definition really encapsulates. Try not to get fired challenge impossible. But yeah, I don't know. In other cases, I know this might be a dickhead move, but look, sometimes I don't even want to respond to people. I just fucking stare at them. Not for basic social interaction. Like, obviously, if they're being a nice person, like, I will respond to them. But if they're being all passive aggressive and in my face, I'm not responding to you. If you pull up to the counter and you're like, hey, I don't think I have to respond to you. I don't know, man. I'm just gonna stare at you, bro. And if there's some dialogue input,
he's not wrong. And that's the thing that a lot of people just don't understand. I know that I've basically paused at the same opinion or point multiple times, but it's just the fact of like, be a decent human being and people probably treat you decently, you know? But the moment that Karen walks up and starts demanding shit, okay, I'm just not talking to you. So how about you do me a favor? Shut the fuck up. Let me do what I have to do. And then we could go our separate ways and never see each other ever again. How about that? Does that sound good to you? See, I just hit y'all with the fucking the Gen Z stare. How did it feel? Felt fine, right? So why can't people just accept it? God damn, shut up and move on.
That I have to do that are required, then I'm gonna do the bare minimum. That's it. Just to get you out of my face. And obviously, customer service is not the most friendly place ever.
Hell
and that's
no.
where people think.
Bro, when I worked at Chipotle, it was insane. Like, the amount of bullshit that I had to go through on like a regular day-to-day basis, it made me a harder worker. It made me a better person. It made me not better person. That's too far of a stretch. It made me a better worker. I remember there was one day where it was me and my team, because I was a manager at the time. Bro, 2 drunk dudes came in and started cursing out one of my workers. And I was like cursing them out. And then my general manager came in and then we both started cursing them out. Fuck around and find out. You fuck around, you find out. People just don't expect that from customer service workers. But like, do you just think that you could walk into an establishment and treat people like shit and get away with it? No, that's crazy. If I ever owned a restaurant or any type of establishment, I'm going to back up my workers, especially if I know that they're a good worker. If my worker has never gotten in trouble, never cursed anybody out, never blown up, I'm going to back them up, and then I'm going to ask them if they're okay afterwards. And then whatever we have to do, we'll do. But corporate doesn't see things like that, though.
This, quote, Gen Z stare occurs the most. Sometimes people might look at you like this, but it's gonna happen. The third definition that I've been seeing going around is that they're on the customer service side, and they say nothing at all. Happened to me a couple times. Went up to a cashier, I said, how's it going? They said nothing. What do you want me to do? Cry about it on TikTok?
No, it does be pissing me off when that does happen, but like, I'm not gonna cry about it. I don't care. I'll just shut up now.
No, I kept it pushing, bro. I could just tell they were tired, they're going through some shit, whatever. They're in customer service. I could tell how they're doing just by their lack of response. And there's also some cases where I accidentally dissociate on somebody. My bad, bro. I'm going through literal hell right now. Customer service is not for the weak. If I'm in a bad mood and there's no required dialogue, I'm not saying shit, bro. Like, we all have bad days. We're not perfect AI robots who are gonna have the perfect response every time. It's just a part of life. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you're genuinely heated about this, there's some dialogue inputs that are required, then yes, you're gonna have to say shit. And you know, every time I've interacted with a Gen Z worker, they've done their job. And that's all that's really required, to be honest. And you know, they might say, nice weather we're having today. And you just get a blank stare. Keep it pushing. Sometimes people might not answer you. Like, whatever, dude. Like, that's happened to me when I was a cashier. I said, how are you? And I got no answer. Or sometimes we might do it by accident and just fuck up. Like, we're all human. Like, whatever. Because sometimes
I feel like it's gotta be kind of an ego thing, though. Like, for somebody to get their feelings hurt so bad to the point where they start like complaining to your manager, he didn't answer me when I asked him how his day was. I did. Yeah, I gave you my answer. Silence. Because it's not going well. And you know what I love the most is that whenever you tell somebody that you're not having a good day, oh, well, there's better days. Fuck, stop. You don't know anything about my life. My big toe just got ran over by a semi truck. I just got rug pulled by crypto. I'm not doing it. I don't know. I'm just not. Leave me alone. I might be 26, but I get it.
Because sometimes you're not going to get the greatest customer service of all time, as long as they're not rude to you. They really act like it's the end of the world. We're so socially inept that we can't order food. We can't formulate sentences at all. And another thing I've been seeing about this is how, I guess, people complaining or making fun of how we process shit super slow. And sometimes this does happen to me, to be honest. And honestly, who the fuck cares? Like, there should be no time limit on how fast you respond. Like, that's...
Have you ever seen an older person trying to move around the internet? My dad acts like he's a fucking dinosaur, bro. My dad acts like he's a goddamn dinosaur. This man still pays bills by paper. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? You understand that the electricity bill has an app, right? Bro, he owes me money. He's like, yo, I got your cash ready. Oh my God. You know you could just send it to me, right? Yeah, but I'm not gonna do that. Oh my God, Dad, please. We are in 2025, please. It really do be pissing me off. I'm not gonna lie.
Just stupid. And of course, they act like we take years to respond. And sometimes people might need those couple you respond. Like, that's just stupid. And of course, they act cares. Like, there should be no time limit on how fast you respond. Like, that's just stupid. And of course, they act like we take years to respond. And sometimes people might need those couple extra seconds to process what you just said. Like, obviously, shit happens. Like, they're not gonna be always alert and awake all the time. The Gen Z stare hits different when you're just trying to order food.
Hi, how are you? Can I get a kid's cheeseburger Happy Meal with no onions? My daughter has like this weird onion allergy, so I just want to make sure those aren't.
I can tell you exactly where she fucked up. She started giving extra context. Tell me if I'm wrong. She started giving extra context. I don't need to know that your daughter has a weird pickle allergy, woman. Okay? I don't. You asked me for a specific way it should be ordered. I'm gonna put in the specific way that it should be ordered. I don't need to hear your whole life backstory, okay? I don't care. That's where they don't understand. We're running that back, bro.
Hi, how are you? Can I get a kid's cheeseburger Happy Meal with no onions? My daughter has like this weird onion allergy, so I just want
This is an A and B conversation. Your daughter gotta see her way out of this shit.
to make sure those aren't on there. And a Sprite to drink, please. Okay.
And let's just be totally honest, all right? This is 1 in a million chance of this happening. I guarantee you this person that they so-called interacted with for their order happened to have like a 2-second pause or something like that. And obviously they're gonna think it took forever, and so of course they're exaggerate it, make it into a TikTok. So this shit did not happen. Top 5 things that never happened, this right here. I don't know, is this a trend to just shit on overtired retail workers? I don't know, probably is at this point. It's more of like a retail stare because I get so tired after a long day when I'm on my last hour of the day. Okay, so it's a day later. Obviously didn't really think this whole Gen Z stare thing was a big deal, but apparently it was because this happened. Yesterday, it made it on Fox News. I mean, who's surprised?
There's no way. There's no way that this made it on the news, buddy. There's much bigger problems going on in the world to be worrying about the Gen Z stare, bro. When we are the older generation, holy shit, this world is going to be probably a calmer place because everybody's going to understand each other, and we don't have to worry about the boomers who are going to be super judgmental and talking about, well, back in my day, in our children's day, the world is going to be just electronic. It's going to be technical the whole way through. We were basically the dinosaurs of technology. We grew up with fucking MySpace, okay? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about things wrong, but that's how I feel.
Fox News. I mean, who's surprised? Is it like a slow news day? This isn't that important.
true.
This is why it's on this channel, The Duck. This is not the most important political takes of all time on here. It's just me explaining internet culture. That's it. But the funny thing is, I don't watch the news. So how do I know it's on the news? Well, I sat down at the dinner table yesterday, and the first words out of my dad's mouth were, have you guys heard of this Gen Z stare? And my mind just exploded. There is no way this made it on the news. It can't be this important. Come on.
9-10 a.m. as well. If you peep it down here, that's prime time news, brother. That is prime time news. They want Jennifer from fucking Scottsdale to know about why her daughter keeps on hitting her with the... Let us relax, please, please, please. I beggeth thee. Because it's millennials too. Gen Z and millennials are together in on this shit, man. Tell me I'm wrong. Gen Z and millennials are together. We are connected at the tissue, brother. We are going through this shit together.
Horrid. Come on, guys. Like, let's be for real right now. How did this air on national television? But yeah, what can you take from this video? If I was a viewer outside looking in, holy unemployment. That's what I would say. The Gen Z stare can be used in multiple different contexts. And most of the time, it appears when dealing with a rude customer, a dumb customer, or you've just had a long day and you just stare off into space. But watch this video right here, all about TikTok slang. Go on.
Nah, I'm not doing that, but shout out the Duck per usual. He makes banger videos. Yeah, bro. The Gen Z stare, I get it, man. I get it. We're all tired. Guys, I'm about to say a slur, so if you don't want to hear a slur, you better leave now. Most people who have a job have the Gen Z stare. That's just what it is. Sorry I had to use that slur, the J slur. Hope that y'all are doing well. Catch y'all on the next one.
I don't think this love for me. I don't think you the one for me. I don't think you see me when you fucking up all in your dream. I don't think you got trust for me. Just ain't what I see.